going on, Niner fans? We got some news today. I'm telling you, man, the 49ers are cooking with hot fire this last couple of weeks. This offseason is unbelievable. Oh, my God. The 49ers extended Fred Warner. I had to put on the Fred Warner jersey, actually. Listen, man, the 49ers are absolutely cooking right now. If you ask me, they have been doing nothing but just amazing stuff this offseason. This front office has been taking care of business. And today, 3 days, it's been 3 days. 49ers have had two massive contract extensions. They got Fred Warner. He has a 3-year, $63 million contract extension that includes over $56 million in guaranteed money and makes him the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. Woo! Oh, my God, I come over blood. Highest paid linebacker in the NFL. In the last month, the 49ers paid Brock Purdy 5 years, $265 million. Fred Warner, 3 years, $63 million. George Kittle, 4 years, $76.4 million. It's unbelievable. The 49ers are cooking, man. He's the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. He's making $21 million per year, man. Worth every freaking penny. This guy played with a fractured ankle last year, and he was still playing at a very good level. Like before the ankle fracture, before that Patriots game listed, this guy was on pace to become the defensive player of the year. Like he was going to be DPOY. I'm telling you, his first linebacker in a long time. It would have been amazing. And I think he can do it this year. He's refocused. This team, again, no drama, no offseason drama. It's been amazing. The Niners have been locked in, and they have been cooking. Your three cornerstone players, now your franchise quarterback, your best defensive player in your team, and your best offensive player, like your captains, the heart and soul of the 49ers, defense and offense, have been locked in. And the crazy thing about this news, it's not crazy, it's just amazing. This is how good Fred Warner is. He becomes the highest paid linebacker in the NFL for the second time in his career. The second time in his career, he becomes the highest paid linebacker in the NFL history. Fucking amazing. This guy is so good. 2-time highest paid linebacker in the league. Put some respect on my man, 5'4", Fred Warner. Let's go. No more holdouts, no more drama. They are cooking. They are focused. They want to play ball. We said yesterday this is probably was going to happen. Very close. And they were very close. Yesterday, the news dropped that they're closing in, and today, boom, they wasted no time. This front office cooking with beans in a pot. I'm telling you, man, it's amazing. Amazing. Sheesh. I love it, man. I'm hyped up. I'm sure you guys are. Just great news all around. But it's crazy. So, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Fred Warner. Are you kidding me, man? Jesus. Unbelievable. Just a great offseason. And again, they've done everything we've wanted them to, right? You fired the defensive coordinator. You bring in a new defense coordinator, which is Robert Saleh, who we love. We want it all after all. You bring in a new special teams coordinator. You got rid of the other guy. You got a new kicker. They brought a new kicker. Greg Joseph officially was signed today. You brought in a kicker to go compete with Jake Moody. You revamped the defensive line. You revamped the special teams unit. They are doing a good job. The only thing, again, the question mark is the O-line, but everything else is falling in place. And they got an offseason to really just focus and get the team better. Oh, my God. Awesome offseason. Love no drama. We're all hyped. Let's go. Everybody's hyped up in the chat. Chef's kisses, Jocelyn. Let's go. You guys drop some comments in there. Make sure you hit the like button. This is amazing. Like, honestly, you can probably argue that Fred Warner deserves more money than he got. $21 a year. He could probably make more. That's the linebacker market, though. He's tops of the linebacker market. Bro's worth $30 million. Honestly, if you ask me, Fred Warner is worth. You can't really put a price on what Fred Warner brings to the table. And he wasn't worried. He had 2 more years on his contract, and they took care of him because they're like, "Look, man, you're the guy. You're our leader." And I think it was good business for the 49ers to get this done early, give him more money, more flexibility. He's got his family, and I think this is just great for both sides. And look, the 49ers. It's not just George Kittle. It's not just Brock Purdy and Fred Warner. They've been getting things done since last midseason. They got Diamond Lenore. They've changed their ways. They want to make sure they get things done and get done correctly. So you got to love it, man. You got to love it. Need a little drink here. Shout out. I got a little Trey Arium. You guys remember these when I used to sell these Trey Arium mugs? Actually, I had Deb sent it to me. She needed to get rid of her mugs. I said, I'll take it. I got my old merch back. Shout out to Deptopia. So got the Trey Lance mug. He's not on the Niners, but hey, I still can drink out of the mug. It's a good mug. But hey, 49ers cooking, and I love it. And I'm just so damn excited that this team is looking like they're ready to just focus. There's no more, there's nothing going to take away their mindset in training camp. They are just going to focus on building this team and getting better. This is the longest time. For the longest time, I can't remember when there has not been any drama in the offseason, in training camp. Like, this is going to be an amazing training camp. Everybody is going to be ready and locked in for the season. And I think that's a huge difference than we've seen in the past. Every year, it seems like drama. No more this year. Fucking love it, man. Yeah. Oh, man. Christine says, I'm ready for some football. We all are. Steven says, Greg Joseph may beat out Moody since he's known to be an accurate kicker. Kicked 61 long field goal. It's going to be a good, interesting battle. I can't wait. But yeah, the 49ers today. So not only they've been busy, man. They signed, right? We know they signed Fred Warner to his extension. Well-deserved. Very well-deserved. They also, right before that news dropped, the 49ers officially signed kicker Greg Joseph and waived Alex Barrett in a corresponding move. Alex Barrett, he was a defensive end. He, came in and out of the team. They'll probably bring him back on a practice squad maybe as the offseason rolls around, but they needed this kicker, and that's who they did. So we'll see. But some other news I want to get to. This was actually really cool news. I don't know if, a lot of the younger kids, they may not know him. The younger generation, you may not know him, but if you're an old school Niner fan like myself, if you're old like me, I got the gray hairs, Brent Jones. And the 49ers announced that Brent Jones will become the 33rd inductee into the Edward J. DeBartolo San Francisco 49ers Hall of Fame. That's actually pretty awesome. He's going to be the newest member of their 49ers Hall of Fame. This guy was a fantastic player. He was such a good tight end. Played with Montana. He played with Young. I remember growing up, this was the guy that Steve was always tossing that pill to, right? He was always there, very accurate, very accurate hands, and he was just always a reliable target. So shout out to Brent Jones. Just great news overall. I thought it was pretty cool to see Brent Jones is going to become a 49er Hall of Famer. So pretty dope. Good stuff. You love to see it. You love to hear it. And 49ers, man, they're cooking. Cooking, baby. Cooking. You got to love it, man. It's good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. 49ers, just good offseason. Brent Jones, man, that's going to be cool. Every year we get somebody on this team that gets inducted, it seems like now. And pretty cool to see, the next legend get in. Like Frank Gore has done it. Fred Warner has done it, right? Et cetera, et cetera. And now we get to see Brent Jones this year. One day, Fred Warner will be in the 49ers Hall of Fame, right? I'm pretty sure it'll happen eventually. So George Kittle, right? He'll be in the 49er Hall of Fame. But Brent Jones, man, very underrated player. This guy was a hell of a player back in his day. I remember vividly that I would sit there and be like, dang, man, this guy just always caught the ball. Let me pull up his stats. Brent Jones, right? He played 11 years with the 49ers, only with 49ers from 87 to 97. He's helped revolutionize the concept of the pass-catching tight end. That's what they say on this. And he really did. Like, if you think about tight ends back in the day, they were just blockers. Brent Jones was a guy that you threw the ball to, and it was like, wow, that's a little different. It's a little different, right? And he was a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He was a first-team All-Pro. He was a 2-time second-team All-Pro, and he was a 4-time Pro Bowler. The guy was amazing, man. He just was a fantastic player. 143 games. He started 125. He had 417 receptions. He had 33 touchdowns and 5,195 yards. I know probably nowadays it's like nothing. It gets nerfed in a few seasons. But back then, for a tight end to have over 5K receiving yards is pretty damn good. So, yeah. Woo! Hyped up, man. Post that. Go ahead. Breathe Again video with Purdy, Kittle, and Warner. I got to get that one up soon. Think I'm just looking right now. He saw Deebo Samuel. He congratulated Fred Warner. And I think CMC. Oh, man. Got to love it, man. Got to love it. These players are hyped up. Gotta love this, man. What a monumental week. It's just a great time to be a 49er fan. It really is. It just truly is a great time to be a 49ers fan. You know what I mean? So Rick says, are they going to cook in September and October, November, December? That's what counts when the real season starts. I think they are, man. If you really look last year, again, I got to bring this up because I keep on saying this, and this is my big point. I don't know if you guys were on Instagram last night. We had a long debate with the quad box. This was the first time we had it in a long time. And, I was cornered 3 against 1. And they were like, oh, not this, that, young. Listen, I know there's a lot of question marks on this team. Still a 6-win team coming into the season. Offensive line, the team is very young, right? Can Brock Purdy take that leap this year now that he got paid? Or is he going to just fall on his ass now that he got paid like a lot of other people do? But here's the thing. The 49ers, they don't have the dark cloud hanging over their heads like they did last year. Last year, it was like so much drama for your mama every time they would have some every week. It was just something in the offseason. It was Brandon Ayuk crying. Then he was cryptic posting. And you're like, what the fuck? Cryptic tweet this, cryptic Instagram post here. Like, come on, man. And then he goes on Nightcap with Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp. And he's talking about, I need to have a Lambo. I need to be paid like I'm a Lambo or something like that. And it's like, come on, bro. And then he holds out. And then Trent Williams is like, I want money. And then Chris McCaffrey's like, I want money. He got paid. Then he got hurt. He was like, not even a trading camp. So it was just everything. And we lost the Super Bowl, and we didn't have as much time to rest. It's just a bad offseason last year. And it's probably one of the worst off seasons. And it trickled into the season, right? There was so much adversity into the season on the team. It was just bad. It was just bad vibes everywhere. And you know what? The 49ers, though, this year, none of that exists. They don't have any drama, no cryptic tweets from Brock Purdy, from Fred Warner, no cryptic tweet from George Kittle. George Kittle was sitting there clocking damn Deanna Rossini this offseason, because she was trying to create drama. She was trying to create drama saying, well, they're not going to pay George Kittle. He might hold out. He was like, come again, check your sources, because I'm telling you that's wrong. That was the only drama, was this reporter trying to create drama for the 49ers, and it didn't happen. Now this year, whole different story. They got their players paid. It's a whole nother vibe. Like the fact that they got Brock Purdy on Friday, and then you wake up today, and a couple hours later, you get Fred Warner, is like, holy shit, the 49ers are cooking. So, Tej Beats, should we sign Clowney? No, we shouldn't. It just doesn't fit what they're looking for. They're trying to get younger. I know the name is just, oh, God, Jadeveon Clowney. Wow. 4 or 5 years ago, absolutely. But he's not going to be a guy that's going to give you much. He might get hurt. And what happened last year? Injuries. The Niners are trying to make sure they stay far away from the land of injuries for the, like the 49ers just can't, they just don't want to have injuries. You know what I mean? 49ers avoid injuries like the plague. So I feel like they got it. They got to just say, no to Clowney. I know a lot of people would say, oh, he could be a good veteran, good depth. I don't see it. Again, he's had a lot of injury history, and I just don't think he'd be able to play enough for this team to make it worthwhile. And again, he added a young team, and I know that the flip side of that is, can these young guys be able to withstand a full season, right? A rookie season is going to be tough for them. Now, there will be some growing pains, and I think that is going to be one of the biggest limitations on this team, is if those guys hit the rookie wall, right? But I just don't see signing a guy like Clowney being too beneficial. Like, yeah, I would love to get a veteran, but I don't think Clowney's the guy I would like to get. So MSQ says, why was yesterday gang up on Raj on the quad box? Well, it's because it's been festive. If we got a group chat, and I'm like, I knew they were going to come out and be like the way they were yesterday, kind of negative, because they've been like talking so much nonsense on the Niners this offseason. They don't believe in the 49ers, which, a lot of people don't. There's still the doubters out there. They had 6 wins. Can you improve that much in one offseason? It's hard to say that. Yes, I know I'm very optimistic and I'm very positive, but I feel like this offseason, again, no dark cloud over them. There's a lot of drama. So I'm kind of the opposite of them and say, no, I feel like this team can win games, but they are kind of jaded. They don't want to believe yet because of what happened last year. And sometimes the 49ers, right, they break our hearts, and they don't want to get their hearts broken. So if you have low expectations, you come into the season and if they beat them, then you're excited. You're happy. If you have high expectations, you come into the season and they don't surpass those expectations or at least meet them, you're going to be pissed off. And I think that's what's been going on. So, yeah, that's why they ganged up on me. But it's all good. Your boy took them on. we got to do what we got to do. So, Smitty went from sign them early to wait till you sign. I know I had to call them. I had to clock them all though. If you really think about it, I was clocking Vlad. This guy switched up in the middle of the stream. Unbelievable. Steven says, you can't count me down. I'm optimistic too. Yeah, I think a lot of us are. I think a lot of people know I'm very optimistic. That's why a lot of people probably follow me because I keep it pretty positive. I mean, there's times where I got a dark cloud over my head. I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. But at the end of the day, I try to stay pretty positive because the fans are looking for a positive outlet. And, when we talk and we go live after a loss, we're here to vent. We're here to find some positive issues. I try to always be that, that hope. But sometimes, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes okay, there's really nothing to be positive about. But for the most part, you always got to try to find the positives of something, especially in football and sports, because it is ultimately sports. It's not your real life, but some people, that is what consumes them, right? Like me, I post a lot. I follow this team like night in, night out, day in, day out. Like I'm on my phone checking updates. So yeah, I'm pretty consumed by this team. So normally it should piss me off if they suck, but I just know how to kind of harness my emotions. Maybe 10 years ago I didn't, but I've matured over the years and I realized, okay, whatever, it sucks. Still got to perform the news. I still got to post the news and stuff, whether it's good or bad. That's kind of like my job now. So you learn how to filter it. So it was Raj and the Faithful versus the Quad Box. It really was. Chris says the Faithful survived a few 2 to 3 win seasons. We can damn sure survive a 6-win season. Yeah, and that's the other way I look at it, because we've had a lot worse. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, 6 wins is devastated last year. Losing the Super Bowl, like, you don't want that again. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, I'd be okay if they won 6 games again. No, absolutely not. I'd be pissed off, just as emotional as most people. But we've had worse. 2 wins was dog shit. I remember in high school, I think it was like college years, they started becoming really bad. I was like, oh my God, pulling my hair. I was like, what the fuck am I doing watching this team? It was bad. Mike Nolan, Dennis Erickson, those days were just so mind-numbingly bad. After, Steve Mariucci left, it was like, what are we doing? And the team had no talent on it. So it took us some time to get back to being good, right? Harbaugh comes, and that's why I feel like a lot of people love Harbaugh, because he kind of restored winning traditions to the team. He's restored glory in a way, right? He got us back to winning football again and made it fun again, right? He made football fun for 49er fans again. And we got to the NFC Championship. We got to Super Bowls. Did we win? No, but we got so much further than we did in a few, in a couple of years before that. When he left, it was like, oh God, here we go again. And then we sucked again. And we got Jim Tomsula. And we got Chip Kelly. And it was nonsense. And then here we go. We got Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch again. And they kind of brought glory back again, right? They've restored winning to this team. So not every year. They've had a few down years, but for the most part, they've got us to at least the NFC Championship, Super Bowl. Have they won? No, but it's fun when your team goes on a run compared to winning 2 games. So I think that's why there's a lot of optimism in my sense, because I've seen John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan take us far. I saw Harbaugh take us far there. And we've all seen bad years, and we just don't want those bad years again. So brought light back to this team. Yeah. Julia says, I'm getting 2019 offseason vibes. Kind of. I just feel like everything's going in the right direction. I remember 2018, there was a lot of injuries that year. Jimmy got hurt. A whole bunch of other players got hurt. And then you drafted Nick Bosa. You drafted Deebo Samuel. It was a good draft. And you kind of, got some more enthusiasm. Everything was great. Signed some players. Offseason comes, and we're like, okay, we're good. Jimmy's back. Okay, we're good. And then you made it to Super Bowl. You lost, but you made it to Super Bowl. Like, I feel like you could be right. If the 49ers could get on a hot run to start this season, right? You paid your quarterback. You paid tight end, George Kittle. You paid Fred Warner. Things are going in the right direction, No drama. It could be. You drafted Michael Williams and a couple other good players that if this draft class is as good as it was last year, we're cooking, baby. But that's the big if. Can this draft class pan out? Can this offensive line be at least as good as last year? Better, hopefully. I mean, that's the big X factor, is this offensive line. So, sheesh. Yeah, unbelievable. Good times. It's been a long off season, but it's been a good off season. It's kind of actually, it doesn't seem like it's that long compared to last year. Seemed like it dragged on forever. Like, it's already almost June, right? June's around the corner. last year it seemed like it took fucking 2 years for the season to start. Like, it was a bad offseason, right? You're coming off a Super Bowl loss. The vibes are bad. Oh, it was ugly. Ugly. So it's only May 19th, and the 49ers have George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Brock Purdy all extended. Like, this is absolutely so crazy to me, because last year you would never expect this team to have all these guys signed. So Chris says, besides the O-line, what else do you believe we should work on? Defensive backs. I mean, yeah, safety depth to me is concerning right now, because we don't know what Malik Mustafa exactly is going to return. And I think that was like a guy that we held our hats on high for, have a breakout season. I don't know. A lot of people don't believe in Jair Brown. He posted a couple of days ago, I got something special for you. And people are like, yeah, no, you don't. So safety probably is a position. They drafted Marquis Saigo. How good is he going to be? We don't really know much about him, right? In the NFL. So safety definitely is a position. Defensive backs where they can probably use a little bit more, depending on when Mustafa comes back. They signed a lot. They signed Jason Pinnock, Trey Brown, Richie Grant. They signed a lot of DBs this offseason, but will any of them be worth much? Who knows? We're going to see training camp. But yeah, that's a position where they have a lot of guys, but a lot of them are just unproven, or we don't know much about them, right? So I think that's a position where you could probably say, hey, look, DB, is that going to be good? Linebacker is a question, just because we don't know how good Nick Martin's going to be, but I got a lot of faith in this kid. I think he can be good. We got Fred Warner. He's the man. There's no question on him, but it's that second linebacker, just like last year. If Nick Martin can be 60% as good as Dre Greenlaw in his first season, and we're going to be pretty solid, because Dre Greenlaw was great, but he wasn't there last year, right? And you had Fondre Campbell slow. He was running like he was in quicksand, quit on the team. So if Nick Martin could be, a little bit above average, I think we're good, because Devondre Campbell was below average. If we get a guy that's a little bit above average, we're cooking right now. So that's a position that we got to keep an eye on. Of course, we said O-line. That's the biggest one to me. And then the running back spot, can Christian McCaffrey be healthy? That's what the goal is, right? He says he wants to play the full year, be healthy, this and that. If he's not, because the 49ers rely on the run game, how the hell is Isaac Guerrero going to hold up? Like, he got hurt last year too. Their backup running back they drafted in the draft, dude from Oregon, right? Jordan James, how good is he going to be? Can he adapt? Can he acclimate? Can he give the 49ers something? Well, can he last whatever carries he runs? That's a big position for the 49ers running back, because they tend to always go through them like crazy. Now, will the running back stay healthy? Will CMC stay healthy? If CMC stays healthy, and I think we're going to be fine, because he is the big key to this offense. He makes everything better. So we'll see. Raj, don't mention today's date, since we're WWE fans. Why shouldn't we mention today's date? I don't know. Just hope the rookies can play well this year. That would definitely help us out a lot. Yeah, Baby Radiance. That is, again, the key to the season. The 49ers are going to rely on a lot of young players, right? That's what they said they're going to do. They need to get younger. They had to shed contracts. They didn't bring back Hufanga. They didn't bring back Greenlaw. They didn't bring back Aaron Banks. They got Connor Colby. They got a lot of young guys. They got Upton Stout, who can be their nickel cornerback, right? You got Marquis Saigo, we mentioned, Nick Martin. They added two, big-time defensive tackles, Alfred Collins and CJ West. They got rid of Hargrave, Leonard Floyd, like Michael Williams is there. They got rid of a lot of players. So this team is going to look a lot different. A lot of people aren't going to notice these guys, recognize these guys, because it's not like you brought in veterans. You brought in relatively unknown people to the casual fans, because they're draft picks, right? They're rookies. Not a lot of people watch college football compared to NFL. Like, if you bring in a Leonard Floyd, some of you guys may know him, right? Some fans may know, oh, yeah, I know Leonard Floyd. He played for the Rams, or he played for the Bills. If you bring in Michael Williams, some fans are going, who the hell is Michael Williams? I don't watch Georgia football. So a lot of unknown faces for, the non-hardcore fans. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of new faces. They got to prove themselves. So Rashad says, Fred Warner signed on my little sister's birthday. Sheesh. And she's 34. And today's Malcolm X birthday. 34. There we go. Shout out to your sister. Happy birthday to her. It's a good birthday present. Christine says, group of rookies seem to be hungry. They do. Kane hates May 19th. Okay. All pro Fred. What's up? Hey, Peter Parker. Oh, man. Fred Warner. Big stuff. So let's just recap real quick. My phone's blown up. I got to go. and then we'll be back a little later. Probably go live on Instagram. But let's recap the news real quick. The 49ers signed All-Pro Fred Warner to a 3-year contract extension worth $63 million. That includes over $56 million in guarantees. Makes him the highest paid linebacker in the NFL for the second time in his career. It's the second time he's been the highest paid linebacker in the league. Jesus. They extended Brock Purdy, Fred Warner, and George Kittle in the matter of in 1 month. Unbelievable. And again, Fred Warner, the highest paid linebacker at $21 million per year. And the 49ers have named Brent Jones to become the 33rd inductee into the San Francisco 49ers Hall of Fame. And they also signed kicker Greg Joseph to a 1-year deal and waived defensive end Alex Barrett in a corresponding move. So 49ers have been absolutely busy. They've been cooking, and I love it. So very good. Hype stuff, good stuff. I'll be back live a little later on Instagram. And if I say I'll be back, sometimes, most of the time, big news happens. Let's see if there's more news today. So Christine says, and no drama. That's the good news. So appreciate you, Matt A. Thank you. Baby Radiant says, I think we'll sign another wide receiver. They looked into Gabe Davis, so I think there's still an opportunity that they might get another wide receiver. I think it comes down to what the NFL rules on Demarcus Robinson, because he's possibly going to get suspended. They haven't officially said anything. So if he gets suspended, they'll probably get another wide receiver. But Gabe Davis has a knee injury that he's rehabbing from. If you look at his Instagram story, he was in rehab this morning. He was getting some treatment. So I don't know if the 49ers are going to want to sign Gabe Davis because he's coming off a knee injury. So, yeah, you got Brandon Ayuk. You don't want to have 2 injured, receivers in the group. So if they do, it'll probably be dependent on if Demarcus Robinson ultimately gets suspended. So, whoo! May 19th. In case you guys have a good one. Love you. Go Niners, Fred Warner! Got paid, baby! Let's go!